For this homework, we're going to ask you to create a repository and publish it to the web. Make it accessible through the browser and the content within it. So I'm going to go ahead and walk here through the process. You're going to start off by creating a repository. In this case, we're going to call it Dreamers. Then going to give it a description. So I'm going to say sample homework. We're going to make it public, add a README. We'll add node. We don't need it for this case for get ignore, but it's just a good practice to get into. MIT license, and then we'll create our repository. I'm then going to go ahead and copy the address here, and I'm going to clone that project to my desktop. So I'm going to enter git clone the address, and then I'm going to copy it to the desktop. I'll then move into Dreamers. And so I now see the two files that are within the repository itself. I'm going to go ahead and move or drag and drop my my file explorer here, Finder, within the Mac. And as you can see there, I'm at the same location, Able Desktop Dreamers, and I see the two files. I'm going to move it out of the way for now. And the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to add a file. We'll go ahead and create a new file. I'm going to enter new. And this file's name is simply going to be index.html. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I'm going to navigate to Dreamers. And I will call it index.html, as mentioned. And all we're going to do here is say hello world. So I'm going to go ahead and enter an h1 tag. And I'll say hello. You should put your name on it. So I guess in this case, I'm going to enter my name. I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to go ahead and move out of the editor. Again, if I list my files, you can see it there. If you want to see the contents of the file, you can look at more index.html. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and push that file back up. I'm going to go ahead and clear my window, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the status. Git status. As you can see there, I have one file that's not been committed. I'm going to go ahead and add that file. If I look at, I need to do git add. If I then look at the status again, I should see that file is now ready to be committed. At this point, let me go ahead and clear my window. I'm going to go ahead and commit, and I'm going to give myself a message, and I will say added able, and then going to go ahead and push my changes back up to GitHub. As you can see there, that's being pushed up. It takes a few seconds for it to show up. I'm going to go ahead and reload the page. And as you can see there, our changes are back up. It says simply my name. And the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to publish the content of this repository to the web. To publish the contents of this repository, we're going to do the following. We're going to select settings. We're then going to scroll down the page to the section that says GitHub Pages. We'll choose one of the branches. By default, everything goes into the master branch, so that's where everything is in this case. I'm then going to go ahead and save that. And when I scroll down the page again, I should see the path for that content. And so if we enter this here, I'm going to go ahead and load it. And I think that hasn't yet been updated. Let me give it a second, or let me go ahead and enter index.html. And you can see there that the content that we just created locally, it's been pushed up to the web, and that file is now being served. So you could create a website that would be hosted for free, and in fact, you could associate a domain name to it. And so this turns out to be a very useful resource, especially when you're starting out. A lot of organizations are self-included. That's how the website for the course is hosted. And so we want you to have some practice at doing this publishing. So it's a very simple homework. Simply create a repository, clone that to your local environment, add an HTML file, call it index.html, add your name to it, put in an h1 tag, push those changes back up, publish this to the web, and send us your link. And we will give you a sheet where you can sign up on. So that's it for this one. Go ahead and enjoy and have some fun.